Welcome to the Facebook studio here at the Raisina Dialogues. We have with us British diplomat, the UK's envoy to the Commonwealth, Parham. Thank you so much for being in this studio and being at Raisina. I think the first question I really want to ask you, for the sake of our Facebook audiences that are joining us and watching the live streaming, is really, why is the Commonwealth relevant today? It's old, colonial, outdated in some ways, perhaps, organization. Why do we need it today?
Well, because it's none of those things, in fact. It's a free, voluntary association of 53 sovereign member states. And if you look at the last meeting of the heads of government of the Commonwealth, which took place in London last April, and which incidentally was one of the largest gatherings of heads of government in recent memory. There were 46 heads of government there in London. If you look at what they committed to, they were talking about real things that make a real difference to real people. And we, the UK, are now the chair in office of the Commonwealth until the next heads of government meeting, which will be next year in Rwanda. And we are determined to ensure that when we get to that meeting in Rwanda next year, the Commonwealth collectively is going to be able to say, 2 years ago in London we said we were going to do A, B, C, D, and you can see we've done A, B, C, D. And A, B, C, D are real, as I say, real concrete things. If you look at the four headings under which the heads set out plans of action: security, prosperity, fairness, sustainability, things that really matter to people. And under those headings, under security, for example, the cyber declaration, which is the widest spread commitment by governments to cybersecurity that there has been so far, and is already being implemented, first of all in the form of audits of cybersecurity in every single Commonwealth member state, which will be completed by the time we get to Kigali. That's one very specific thing. There are various other areas of security where action is being taken, like combating violent extremism, where the capacity of the Secretariat has been built up to take forward that work, or tackling the problem of child sexual exploitation online, or the problem of modern slavery. There are real concrete things being undertaken there. On prosperity, the Commonwealth is taking forward a new so-called connectivity agenda to increase digital connectivity, physical connectivity, regulatory connectivity between Commonwealth member states, to improve and enhance trade and investment between Commonwealth members, which makes a real difference to people's real lives.
So a couple of questions from that. One is that it's interesting that the next heads of government meeting is happening in Rwanda. It's the latest entrant to the Commonwealth as well. But I think, the issues that you say countries are negotiating and working together for, why the Commonwealth as opposed to any other kind of grouping, a regional grouping, something which is more Asia specific as well, that isn't led by the monarch of the United Kingdom? Why can't a country like India, for example, lead the Commonwealth today?
Well, a country like India can certainly lead areas of activity in the Commonwealth and drive delivery in the Commonwealth, and I'm sure that we will increasingly see that, and that is the pattern, I think, which we are seeing emerging from the last heads of government meeting. So under the sustainability heading, which I also mentioned, a big item is the Blue Charter, devoted to tackling the sustainability of the oceans. And there are 9 member state action groups under that heading, and for example there's the Commonwealth Clean Oceans Alliance focused on plastics in oceans, which is a huge challenge. That now has 23 member states signed up to it. It's been co-led by the UK and Vanuatu. That's just one example. So there's, as it were, variable geometry. Any Commonwealth member state can work with any other Commonwealth member state, and indeed Commonwealth organisations and the Commonwealth Secretariat, in order to produce real results in particular areas. And the reason why the Commonwealth, and why not, for example, some regional-based group, is precisely that the Commonwealth is global. The Commonwealth is spread across all the world's regions and has types and sizes of country ranging from Nauru at one end of the spectrum to India at the other end of the spectrum. And that is a huge strength, because it means that the Commonwealth brings to the table so many different perspectives and experiences, but bound together by a common language, by common legal systems, by historic patterns of collaboration. So it means that it has effectiveness which other organizations don't have.
So you very nicely sidestepped the question that I asked you, which is on why does Britain still have to lead the Commonwealth? Why can't it be another member state of a great size? And the reason I'm asking this is because conversations on world politics today talk about how the West is declining and it's on the wane, right? So we've seen that Britain itself, its economy, Western Europe, the United States, for example, are all looking east in different ways, but are yet not willing to relinquish their supremacy on global conversation.
Okay, well, let me be clear, because I didn't hear you say why should the UK continue to lead the Commonwealth. If I had, I would have immediately said the UK doesn't lead the Commonwealth.
Okay.
The UK, the Commonwealth is not the British Commonwealth, it is the Commonwealth of Nations. The UK is just one of 53 equal members. The Commonwealth operates by consensus. And absolutely, we would love to see India's leadership role within the Commonwealth grow and develop more and more. And India makes up, about half the population of the Commonwealth, of course, and about a quarter of its GDP. So no question, there's much more potential for India to lead within the Commonwealth.
And what do you make of, so again, in the context of the Commonwealth and other member states of the Commonwealth, what do you think of the conversations, amongst Asian countries for sure, which look at the West in a larger way, the West, this is the map West, the Western world, as a unit or nation states where they're struggling, their influence is waning, their economies are suffering, and so they are looking to other developing nations to actually now help them sustain.
Well, I mean, I think that's true. The world is always changing, and there's no question there is a huge upsurge in economic growth and economic weight in what used to be called, the developing world, and in Asia, but also in Africa. Many of the world's fastest growing economies are also in Africa, and we all have to adjust to these, to these new patterns and these new areas of growth. And there are obviously huge opportunities for everyone in these new areas of growth. And we have to make sure that we exploit those opportunities in a way that is sustainable and in a way that promotes the common good.
So do you think that it will be possible to keep the Commonwealth together as an organization in the face of challenges of ideology, domestic politics and populism in individual countries, the challenges of extremism? Can the organization survive confrontational positions that member states may have?
Yeah, I mean, every grouping of countries has various differences of opinion within it from time to time, but I have absolutely no doubt that the Commonwealth can do so, partly because it is a very flexible organisation. It's this free association. It operates by consensus. There's no reason for anyone to feel threatened, either members or non-members, to feel threatened by the Commonwealth. And you just have to look at the fact that countries want to join the Commonwealth, which is a demonstration that they see value in it. So the Gambia rejoined the Commonwealth just before the last Heads of Government meeting, having previously left it. Zimbabwe and the Maldives, who left the Commonwealth, are now applying to come back to the Commonwealth. And there are other countries that also have discussions about whether they might join the Commonwealth. So there is real value in the organisation. There is no doubt about that, and indeed I am convinced that there will be greater and greater value, and that value will be seen as we drive more systematically the achievement of these real outcomes for real people in real time under those headings that really matter to people: security, prosperity, fairness, sustainability.
Richard, Philip Parham, thanks so much for being on this discussion at the Facebook studios. Enjoy the rest of the conference. We hope to hear more from you. Thank you very much for being with us.
Thanks, Matt. Thanks.